What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Karmelo Anthony's judge was just appointed. Well, it's not his judge, but the judge to the Karmelo Anthony case was just appointed. His name is John R. Roach, and we're going to talk about the judge that will be presiding over the Karmelo Anthony case in regards to him taking the life and killing Austin Metcalf. I would like to give a special shout out to one of my followers in the comments. His title is Realist for Real. Realist for Real contacted me with this updated information where he discovered who the judge was. And I started to research the judge for a few hours to find out what type of individual this man is, cases that he sat on, what his decisions were, where he came from, what he believes in, and who the man is in general, to see who's sitting on this case. And I discovered a lot of information on it. So we're going to get into it. I will tell you who this judge is. But before I tell you who the judge is, I'll save it for the end, this part. The judge is from the 296th district. He is a state district judge. His name is John R. Roach Jr., and he is a Republican. And Republicans are tougher on crime than Democrats. They are tougher on crime than liberals. And if you're going to be in front of a judge, you honestly probably don't want to be in front of a Republican judge, because Republicans are tough on crime. So a lot of people thought that Karmelo Anthony was going to get the original judge that he had, the one that lowered his bail from $1 million to $250,000. But that was just a temporary judge to handle the arraignment. And I didn't figure she would be the judge on the case. And so, again, his name is Judge John R. Roach Jr. He was appointed in 2007 into this position of a criminal law judge. He also handles civil cases. Um, he is known and said to be a no-nonsense judge. Talks a lot about his dad, who was a Vietnam vet. Um, said he loves Christmas and the birth of Jesus Christ, this judge. You know, he's rated as one of the most knowledgeable judges in that courthouse. That's not his own words. Those are other people that are in the courthouse with him. Said that John Roach is one of the most knowledgeable judges there is. He graduated St. Mary's University Law School. As I said, he was appointed in 2007. He handles family law, civil cases, felony criminal cases. Um, has a wife who's an attorney. Her name is Laura. They've written a book together. The book was called Divorce and Peace. The only controversy I could find on Judge Roach is that he had a case brought against him in regards to some divorce cases, I believe he was sitting on. And his book was brought into it, Divorce and Peace, with his wife, but he was found not guilty. I'm talking about the judge now. The judge once had a case brought against him. I went through a little bit of the documentation and the court documents regarding the case, but it was very extensive. But he was found not guilty in the case. Uh, and so that was one piece of controversy I found on the man, but there wasn't much else about that. But I'd say a lot of judges get cases brought against them. A lot of people go after the judge. You know, he also wrote a book. He's the author of a book called Roach's Texas Rules of Evidence, which is a book that he wrote and had published. So he's an author, he's a judge, he was a district attorney, he was a prosecutor. Um, he has a bachelor's in political science and government, And as I said, he seems like a no nonsense judge. In 2008, he won the Lone Star Prosecuting Award for prosecuting cases. He's given life sentences to people. He's given life without parole to people. Uh, he gave 15 years to a prosecutor in his office. He prosecuted someone in his office for crime, someone that worked in his office, and he gave them a 15-year sentence. He did dismiss charges once in a murder case because he said he had to follow the law. It was called the Ashley Estelle murder case, and he had dismissed the murder charges against the defendant because he said he doubted the evidence, and the law stated that he can dismiss the charges against the individual because he believed that the evidence was not true, was falsified. So this is the judge that Karmelo Anthony is going to be facing. He's the one that's going to be sitting on the trial. I'll tell you, I have what this judge is not going to pay attention to. He's not going to pay attention to. He's not going to pay attention to the fact that Karmelo Anthony was given bail and is out on bail. That's irrelevant in this case. He's not going to pay attention to the fact that Karmelo Anthony had a fundraiser. That's irrelevant in this case. And a matter of fact, the Karmelo Anthony family is now asking for more money. They have a fundraiser asking for more money. They said that they need 1.4 million now. They're trying to raise as much money as they can. He's not going to pay attention to the fact that people said Karmelo Anthony had a cleat sharpener, that he stabbed Austin Metcalf with a cleat sharpener because it was a knife. He's not going to pay attention to the false rumors that Karmelo Anthony was attacked by Hunter Metcalf. He's not going to pay attention. I'm listing all the nonsense that has come out. He's not going to pay attention to the rumors that Karmelo Anthony was jumped, that you people created. He's not going to pay attention to the racist spokesperson, Alexander, for the Karmelo Anthony family. That means nothing to this judge. He's not going to pay attention to people claiming that Karmelo Anthony's father is responsible. He's not going to pay attention to the false statements that the knife was never found because it was found. He's not going to pay attention to people saying that Karmelo Anthony went looking for a fight when there's no proof of that. He's not going to pay attention to Jeff Metcalf's house getting swatted. That's irrelevant. He's not going to pay attention to the fact that people say Karmelo Anthony didn't belong there. That doesn't matter. He's not going to pay attention to the fact that Karmelo Anthony sat under the wrong tent. That doesn't matter. He's not going to pay attention to the rumor that this happened over a girl. I've seen that in the comments. He's not going to pay attention to the rumors that the family, Karmelo Anthony family, went on the run and left the state. That's irrelevant. He's not going to pay attention to the Karmelo Anthony family buying a mansion with the money. He's not going to pay attention to Karmelo Anthony's mother supposedly buying a new Cadillac Escalade. That doesn't matter. He's not going to pay attention to the comments of what people think is going to happen to Karmelo Anthony inside a prison when they've never been to prison before in their life. See, that's irrelevant to the judge. He's not going to pay attention to people thinking he's a flight risk. He's not going to pay attention that Karmelo Anthony carried a knife there because he intended on using it when there's no proof of that, right? What this judge is going to pay attention to, what this judge is going to listen to, is the evidence of if Karmelo Anthony was justified in stabbing Austin Metcalf. I wanted to read that whole list to you because there's 100 YouTubers that talk about all that junk. There's 100 YouTubers that talk about all that meaningless, pointless, wasteful information that means absolutely nothing once you get into the court of law. They're going to look at, the jury's going to look at, what if Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in self-defense? Everything else is irrelevant. Everything else is irrelevant. The judge is going to sit back and listen to all the evidence. He's not going to listen to one rumor. He's not going to listen to anyone's opinion. And neither is the jury. So everyone out there who was siding with Carmelo Anthony, especially the ones that sided with him because they have racist bones in their body, and they were siding with him because he was black, all those rumors that were created will not be heard in the court of law. And this no-nonsense judge, John Roach, isn't going to have it. I'm telling you that now. I read a ton of information about this judge. The judge and the jury won't be able to hear any of that. This is going to be about what transpired under that tent. And if Carmelo Anthony was justified in stabbing him in the heart. They don't care who drove him there. They don't care if he belonged there. They don't care if he was told to leave. They don't care if Carmelo Anthony raised money. They don't care about any of those things I listed. They're going to care about the confrontation between Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony and what happened in that 15 to 30 seconds. And that will determine whether he is found guilty or not guilty. And then this judge, if he doesn't take a plea bargain, if Carmelo Anthony doesn't take a plea bargain and he goes to trial, the jury's not going to be able to hear any of that fabricated evidence. They will be instructed not to pay attention to any of it. They are going to be given the law, the self-defense law, what self-defense means, when it's justified, when you're allowed to use proportionate force, and they will be schooled on self-defense extensively. And that's it. That's the news for now. That's the judge handling the case. I wanted to introduce him to you, and I'll keep you guys posted. Take care.